So you've listed about, I don't know, 10 different jobs now that you currently have where, I mean, I don't say that just because you mentioned earlier to me that you're a taekwondo mom. You're doing all this pro bono work with the Boy Scouts and presentations, and there's two companies. And like, how are you managing your time? Like, how do you approach time management? Because that's more than it seems like 2 people could do or 3
Mhm.
people, much less just 1. So, just talk to me about how you're managing and prioritizing your time with all of this.
Well, I think one of the things that I mentioned earlier when we spoke and when I spoke to other folks at XYPN is that I had to be okay with my financial planning business taking a back seat. So I was still involved in financial planning because I was doing it for Allied Approach Group and I was doing it for my family. And quite honestly, I even gave a presentation at a symposium for test pilots to teach them what they needed to do as
Very
working in a gig economy. How do you set yourself up for success? But it has been a humbling process, Alan, because like you mentioned, I was dormant for about 16 years, really. And then I had an opportunity to really take off and I had to step back. And so I manage my time by looking at the priority. There's this sort of illustration that you'll hear aviators talk about having a bucket of tasks.
Mhm.
And the most important tasks are at the bottom of the bucket. And then as your bucket fills up, the stuff that's not as important kind of falls off to the wayside and you're okay because the core tasks are being handled. And that's kind of what I had to do. It was directed by what my priorities were. And as a result, what I'm finding is that I'm actually attracting clients who are also like that.